In this next problem, there are 4 litters of kittens. Each litter has 5 kittens. How many kittens are there? Pretty easy problem, right? But let's make sure you get the basic idea so that you can apply it to harder problems. So here we have 4 litters of kittens. So that's 4 groups basically. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inside each group we have 5 kittens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you don't have to draw it over and over, but you get the idea that there are 4 groups of 5. Well, when we have groups and there's the same amount in each group, and we're trying to figure out a total, that's a multiplication problem. So 4 times 5 equals 20 kittens altogether. In this next problem, last year I made 2/5 less than I make this year. I currently make $55,000 a year. How much did I make last year? So last year I made 2/5 less than I make this year. So 2/5 less than means 2/5 of the amount I make this year less that amount. And there's a couple ways to approach this. So 2/5 of $55,000 is where I will start. What does of mean? Multiply, right? So 2/5 times $55,000. I'm going to cross cancel. Always cross cancel if you can. This will give me 11,000. Then I multiply straight across to get $22,000. Now what does this tell me? It's always good to stop and think about what your number represents. 22,000 is my 2/5 less, right, than this year. So it's important to stop and write down what that number means so you don't forget. So if I want to figure out how much I made last year, what should I do? I should take this year's amount and subtract the 2/5 less to figure out how much I made last year, which is $33,000. Now another approach to this is to think in terms of how much I made last year. Well, if I made 2/5 less last year, I actually made 3/5. So I could think about it this way. I made 3/5 of $55,000. So it's a little less math, a little easier to work with. So 3/5 of means times 55,000. I'm going to cross cancel. And I get $33,000 this way as well. Either technique is fine. This is just a shorter version of it. In this next problem, it reads, I have 2 bags of sugar with 20 pounds of sugar in each bag. So I have 2 bags. I'm going to draw that. I have 2 bags of sugar, and there's 20 pounds in each. So I'm going to label that. 20 pounds. 20 pounds. Okay. I need to fill up sugar shakers for each table in a restaurant. So I have these little sugar shakers that people can dump sugar out of in my restaurant. If each sugar shaker will fit 1 2/3 pound of sugar, so I'm going to write that beneath it. I can fit 1 2/3 pounds in each of these. I don't know how many there are though. How many sugar shakers do I need? Always think about the question that's being asked. That's the key to setting everything up. So how many sugar shakers do I need? So what I have here is I have a total amount. They've told me the total amount of sugar, right? It's really just 20 plus 20, which is 40 pounds. I have 40 pounds and that's my total amount of sugar. And they've told me how much is in each group. 1 2/3 pounds is in each group. And they're asking how many groups are there. So what kind of problem is this? If you're thinking division, you're absolutely correct. We have a total 40 pounds divided by the amount in each group, 1 2/3 pounds, and that's going to give us the number of shakers. So go ahead and complete this math. and check back. You should end up with 24 sugar shakers are needed to fit all 40 pounds of sugar in them, since they hold 1 2/3 pounds each. In the next problem, it reads, I have 4 pizzas sliced into 8 pieces each. I love pictures, so I'm going to go ahead and draw this. I have 4 pizzas, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 8 pieces in each. If 12 people are sharing, how many pieces does each person get? So I want you to take a minute and see if you can figure this one out. So this was a division problem. They gave us enough information to figure out the total number of pieces we have. We have 4 pizzas times 8 slices gives us 32 pieces altogether. So we're going to take that total amount and we're going to divide it by the number of people. Think about that as the number of groups there are, and we're trying to figure out how much in each group. And we end up with 2 2/3 pieces each. And yes, I know that's a little tricky, so you could leave it with that answer, or in real life we'd probably give 2 pieces to each person, and anybody that wants more than that you'd have to negotiate with one another. In this next problem, 7/8 of 8th graders stay at Cary Academy for upper school. If there are 160 8th graders, how many leave Cary Academy at the end of 8th grade? How many 8th graders stay at Cary Academy for upper school? So I want you to give this one a shot and see how you do. So in this case, we have 7/8 of our 8th graders that stay. So 7/8 of 160 stay. Then we know that the remaining leave, so that's 1/8, because 7/8 plus 1/8 equals 100. 7/8 plus 1/8 equals 8/8, which is 1 whole. So 1/8 of 160 leave. Of means what? It means multiply, right? So 7/8 of 160, you should have ended up with 140. Remember to cross cancel when you multiply. 1/8 of 160 ends up equaling 20. Remember again to cross cancel.